Okay, so the first thing we're going to cover is our stance and our guard, to make sure that our feet are in the right position to start our techniques and that our guard is in the right place to keep us nice and safe. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to stand shoulder width apart, so we've got a nice good base. We're going to take our right leg back, because this whole DVD is going to be about orthodox fighting. Southpaw is a whole nother thing, so we're going to start just in the orthodox position. We're going to take our right leg, step back, about a foot back. Not too far, not too shallow. If I step too shallow, I'm not going to have good balance. If I step too wide, I'm not going to be able to move. I've got to find that happy medium, which is usually about a foot back. From there, I'm going to take my back heel off the ground so that I've got a good spring in my back leg, because this is my power leg. So if I flat to generate power, I've got to lift my heel up before I generate my power. If I start with my heel up, I'm ready to throw my strikes with power from my back leg. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to raise our arms up to our ears. And I'm going to bring my elbows down, straight down, and I'm going to make a fist as if I'm holding a roll of quarters in my hands. Thumbs facing back. I'm going to take my back hand, stick it up onto my face, and my front hand is going to be slightly in front of me. Not here, not here. Right hand back, front hand slightly further back. Now, I've got to drop my shoulders and relax my shoulders. If we tense up, all our punches are going to be tight and tense. So relax my shoulders, I'm going to be nice and fluid. Second thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my chin and I'm going to staple it down towards my throat, so that my chin is underneath my guard and I can look over my guard line. From here now, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to feel my feet and feel that I'm in good balance here. If you can't drop down and pick up something from the ground, you don't have good enough base. So if I'm like this and I'm feeling uncomfortable, no good. If I'm too wide, it's no good. So I've got to just feel where I'm at, be able to drop down, no problem. And this is our basic guard.
Talk about slipping straight attacks, so the jab and cross. What we need to understand about slipping attacks is your body construction with your head in line with your hip. A big mistake that a lot of people do is their head moves totally offline of their hip. What this does is create off balance of your body. What you always want to do is use your hips to rotate and move your head, just like I would if I'm throwing my straight line attacks. Instead of weaving my head and hinging my side of my hips, which creates an off balance of base on one side or the other side, I am going to actually take my head and shift it using my hip. So my hip is like throwing the straight line attacks of cross, an uppercut, even an elbow. Straight line, turn, and I get offline. Other side would be the same, shifting my hip on the inside. This can only be achieved if my head is always in line with my hip. If my head goes over and I start to try and move, I'm going to be off balance, and my base is going to be incorrect, especially if I'm adding in movement. So, big thing is understanding the head in line with hip, and efficiency of rotating the hip to move the head, instead of me hinging my hip and creating an off balance either on the left or the right. Okay, here's a drill that you can drill with your partner. This is going to help you with slipping straight line attacks like the jab and cross. So we're going to line up with our partner in our fighting stance. And what we're going to do first is be static. And I'm going to throw a jab. He needs to efficiently rotate his hip, which is going to get his head off center line. So I'll throw a jab, rotates out. I'll throw a jab again, rotates out. When I throw the jab, if you can see that Don's head is always on the outside of the punch. So if I threw a cross, he couldn't rotate his hip or slip on the inside of the punch. You never want to be on the inside of the punch because of the opposite hand. If I throw a cross, he's always going to be on the outside. If I throw a jab, he's always going to be on the outside. And as you see, he's using his hip to move his head and not his hinging of his body to move his head. So we're going to stay straight. I'm going to go 10 punches. So I'm going to go 1, 2, reset. 1, 2, reset. 1, 2, reset. 1, 2, reset. Last one. 1, 2, reset. Once you've got comfortable doing the static, we can do what we call line draws, where I push the individual going backwards and then he pushes me going forwards. Right? The first one is going to go backwards. So I step with my jab cross. I go 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. Now he's going to come forward. So I go backwards. 1, 2. 1, 2. And last one. 1, 2. Again, I come forward. 1, 2. 1, 2. And then we go backwards. 1, 2. 1, 2. Last one. 1, 2. Make sure when you're doing this drill that you punch straight for the head, right? Using the gloves or no gloves, starting off slowly and then speeding this drill up. The biggest thing that you need to understand when doing with this partner is that the hip is not hinging and your hips are not hinging over your feet. That you're using body rotational and hip mechanics to move your head off center line. Alright, so why we don't hinge the hip off when we slip the punch is because it also is a very efficient way of slipping the punch while loading your hip for a counter. What does this mean? So if I throw my cross, right, and Don slips the punch the correct way, he now has efficiently loaded his hip on his left side so he can counter straight away with either a left hook, a left elbow, or even a kick or knee. If he uses the hinging, right, he inefficiently loads his hip. So if I throw a cross and he just hinges, as you can see, his head is offline of his hip. Right? Can he counter? Yes, but he won't be able to efficiently generate the right movement and right technique and the right power. Now we'll go over slipping the punches in real time on the pads.
Twisting arm control. It's an incredible technique. Tell them about it. It's our favorite technique for negotiating. Negotiating. We don't want to fight or hurt anybody. We love negotiating. And for negotiating, there's nothing better than what Hito's about to show you. You get to the mount. Okay, the bully's covering his face out of fear. I do this. 1. And I get to here. And now from here, hey. Hey.
I want to punch you in the face, kid.
Are you sure?
No.
Go ahead, try. Can't.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Remember, don't hit the bully. No hitting the bully.
This is not a hit, this is a pat.
Oh, he's petting me. He's petting me.
Hey. So, the first thing you do is you push the bully's arm across, and then you kind of lay your body weight down. Okay? So I deflect the arm near the elbow right here and near the wrist. Chest down, and now I come under his head and I feed. Look. Now, with my hand on the ground and this elbow, I jump up to the modified mount. And now I'm going to twist.
So he turned me on my side so that I'm under him and he's modified. And then he holds, the arm is straight right here, it's tight right here.
This arm is straight, this hand is on the elbow.
Look how he's holding my tricep, pushing it down so I can't face him no matter what. This is very good. And we hold there. How long? Until they decide to agree. Until they cooperate. Hold on. Twist them up. Start with it. You're mounted. And of course, now, you wouldn't do this right away. When you mount on someone right away, spider control, positional control from the mount, low swim, high swim, control. Once they exhaust, hold on, sits up, deflect the arm across, quick, chest heavy. Nice chest weight. Feed the wrist, modified mount, and hold on, sit up straight and twist him. Nice. Look at Holden's arm is straight, and his hand is right here on the tricep. Talk, and he don't try to punch. Now, parents, during this drill, we want the bottom person, you, parents, to try to twist into the kid. Kids, drive your hips, pull tight, and boom. There's one secret detail here on the kickstand. This back foot, angle it out just a little bit. Look, put his knee up a little bit. Instead of having this foot in, it's out, and Holden's driving his hips, pull hard. And Holden pass.
What if the bully is so strong that they actually bump and you begin to fall that way? hand on shirts. No, that's one option. Or go back. It's
me
probably
lay down?
safer to just put your hands out and mount normal.
So if I bump and he's about to fall, put both hands out.
And go back to normal mount. So twisting arm control, if it feels good, keep it. If not, go back to the mount. Thank you. This is a preparation drill. So here his hands are up. Look, pop, chest, come under, feed. If you can't reach the wrist, the mother, feed the baby. Feed the baby. Hand down, modify, twist, sit up straight. Look at my hips. Kickstand, from here, don't punch.
What does that hand do with that fist?
It was just making sure my fingers felt good.
Good.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Got it. Twisting arm control. Incredible negotiator. Because from there, you can hold them. You don't have to hurt them. They can't hit or hurt you. It's pretty much, they're going to cooperate. Now, if it's a crazy bully, like the biggest kid in the whole school, the biggest, meanest one, okay, and you need more control, we're going to use the arm lock finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. Now we can talk. Although the twisting arm control is great control, he might be able to wiggle his way out. But from here, I doubt it. Especially if my legs are tight. Now, sleepy legs, he's gone. Tight legs, negotiate for days. Okay? Now, someone once asked me, he said, Henner, what if the bad guy tries to bite your leg right there? Like, tries to bite your leg. Answer, little pressure. No problem. Let me show you what I did. We're doing the twisting arm control, and from here, we're transitioning into the arm lock. Watch my hand. It goes under, and I grab my own wrist. Look how I take this hand, and I push it in. It's called opening the door. Open the door, and then your hand walks through it. And I grab my own wrist. Grab my own, not his, my wrist. From here, okay, this other foot of mine, I'm going to put it up under Hidon's armpit. I bring it up a little bit. Down, up. And now I spread this knee. Watch my elbow. Elbow loops around. Go back. If my elbow doesn't loop, I lose. Look, the elbow must loop around. And now my leg goes all the way over. I sit back, I hug, take, pull, finish, control, negotiate. Listen, do you promise to leave me and every other kid in this whole school alone forever?
Yes.
Good. Let's be friends.
Yes.
When Haley falls back right now, watch how Hidon tightens his arm up. Fall back, Haley. Pull the arm with you. Take the arm, Haley. Look, Hidon controls her descent for safety. Doesn't just slam her back wildly. He controls the descent. Now also, when Haley's squeezing the arm lock right here, look, check her legs. He does a great job of checking her legs. And then from here, when Haley squeezes the arm lock, she has to make sure that the hand is not up in the sky, but the hand is glued to her body. Hold it tight, Haley. Spin it tight. And then her hips go up. We've already learned this, but I'm just reminding you. Hips up. Yes. Right now, right as hand on steps, his weight is on his hands. Push down, hand on heart. That's his pivot point. So his leg can spin freely. Look how nice. Boom. Take the arm, hand on, pull back, pull back. Those legs are pretty weak to me. Those legs are pretty weak to me. Oh, welcome back. There they are. Squeeze slow.
You bounced up on me.
Okay.
100% on the... So from here, again, hold this for a few seconds, and then once you feel it's time, you open and you go in. If kids, your arms are too short and you can't loop around, look, let go. 1, 2, 3. So you can go back to the standard arm lock that you learned in the past. But ideally, if you can keep that double wrist grab and do the loop around one, that's a little bit tighter because you have control of the arm the whole time. And that's the variation we're practicing now. So only if your arms are too short should you do the one that Haley showed us. Twisting arm control is the position here. Arm lock finish is the variation we are practicing. Perfect this one, and you should be good to go.